So now we're going to continue with solving one variable linear equations, but we're going to solve some that you can clear fractions. You're not required to clear fractions to solve these, but it is highly recommended. So here's the process. I have this equation. It says 5/6x minus 3/4 equals 1/3 x. And I notice I have multiple fractions, which is prompting me to want to clear fractions first. So the way that you do that is you look at your denominators, which are 6, 4, and 3, and determine what the LCD is. In this case, that would be 12. Now I'm going to do this problem twice. First, I'm going to do it by actually getting a common denominator of 12. So for 5/6, I would need to multiply by 2 over 2. And that would give me 10 over 12x minus, for 3/4, to get a denominator of 12, I would need to multiply by 3 over 3. And so that would give me 9 over 12. And then 1/3 x, I would need to multiply by 4 over 4. So that would give me 4 over 12x. Now, here comes the clearing fraction portion. I'm now going to multiply the left side of the equation by 12. And I'm going to multiply the right side of the equation by 12. Now, on the left side of the equation, I have two terms. So when I multiply by 12, I want to be sure that I distribute the 12 to the 10/12 x and the minus 9/12. So essentially, that gives me 12 times 10 over 12x minus 12 times 9 over 12 equals 12 times 4 over 12x. Okay, now when we simplify this, the first fraction, 12 times 10/12, the 12's reduce, and I'm left with 10x minus the second fraction, 12 times the 9/12, the 12's again reduce. And that leaves me with 9 equal to, and then 12 times 4/12 x, the 12's reduce. So that leaves me with equal to 4x. Hence, no more fractions. Once you've cleared the fractions, you can solve this the way that you've been solving the other linear equations. I'm going to draw a line through my equal sign. I'm already simplified, so now at this point, I'm going to bring my variable terms to the right, which means that then I need to subtract 10x from each side. So 10x minus 10x is 0. Bring down the minus 9 equal to 4x minus 10x gives me negative 6x. Okay, we're going to end with dividing both sides by negative 6. So on the left, negative 9 divided by negative 6. A negative divided by negative is a positive. So that gives me positive 9/6 equal to. Then negative 6 divided by negative 6 gives us 1. So we have 1x. Now you may have already seen it, but we do need to reduce this fraction and for our final answer. So a common factor of 3. Divide the numerator and denominator by 3. So we get 3 over 2 equals x. All right, so let's just recap that. First thing I did was found the common denominator, which is 12. So then I multiplied each fraction by the necessary factors in order to get a common denominator of 12. Then I multiplied each side by 12 to clear the fractions. And I wrote out my separate work so that you can see it ends up multiplying every single term. Then we're left with an equation that has no fractions, and we continue to solve this by combining like terms and then using our properties of equality until we get an answer. Okay. It can be a long process, a little bit tedious, but hang in there, okay? So now I'm going to do the same question again. 5/6x minus 3/4 equals 1/3 x. And it's going to be slightly shorter. And this is the one that I'm going to continue using for the rest of the lecture. So again, we're going to clear fractions. Find the LCD. We already know it's 12. Now, instead of finding a common denominator, I'm going to jump to just multiplying each side by 12. So I'm multiplying the left by 12 and the right by 12. So essentially, on the left side, I need to distribute the 12 to the 5/6x and to the 3/4. So that gives me 12 times 5/6x minus 12 times 3/4 equals 12 times 1/3 x. Okay, now simplify each term. So the 12 times the 5/6, do the division first. 12 divided by 6 gives me 2, and then 2 times the 5 gives me 10x. Minus 12 times the 3/4. Do the division first. 12 divided by 4 gives me 3, and 3 times the 3 gives me 9. Equal to 12 times the 1/3. Do the division first. 12 times the 3, 12 divided by the 3 gives me 4, and 4 times the 1x gives us 4x. Notice how we have the same equation as we had before, but we didn't actually find a common denominator. We just jumped straight to clearing fractions. Okay, so with that said, I'll just finish the algebra for good practice. Draw a line through the equal sign. All right, so we're going to subtract 10x from each side. And 10x minus 10x is 0. Bring down the -9 equal to 4x minus 10x. Again, still is -6x. Divide both sides by -6. And we end up with 3/2 equals 1x. Okay, so process. Find the LCD. Multiply each side by the LCD. Simplify, continue solving the equation. Let's try again. We have here -2/7 equals -3/5 y minus 1/2. So to find the LCD, we look at the 7, 5, and 2, and our LCD is 70. So I'm going to multiply the left side by 70 and the right side by 70. Now on the right side, we're going to need to distribute the 70 to the -3/5 y and to the minus 1/2. So essentially that gives us 70 times negative 2/7. Notice how I put the negative sign with the 2. You could have put it with the 7. It's up to you. Equal to 70 times negative 3. Sorry, let me rewrite that. 70 times negative 3 over 5y minus 70 times 1 over 2. Okay, so starting with the 70 times the negative 2/7, we do 70 divided by 7, and that's 10. And 10 times negative 2 is negative 20. Next, equal to 70 times the negative 3/5 y. So we have 70 divided by 5, that's 14. And 14 times the negative 3, that's negative 42, and then the y. Minus 70 divided by 2, that gives us 35, and 35 times 1 is 35. Hence, no more fractions. All right, so now I'm going to draw a line through my equal sign. I don't need to simplify my side, so now I'm just going to bring my constant terms to the left. So that requires me to do the inverse of minus 35 by doing plus 35 to each side. So on the left side, I have negative 20 plus 35, and that leaves me with a positive 15 equal to, bring down the negative 42y, and then the negative 35 plus 35 is 0. Okay, to finish, we're going to divide both sides by negative 42. So on the right side, negative 42 divided by negative 42 gives us positive 1y. And then positive 15 divided by negative 42, that's going to give us a negative fraction. So we have a common factor of 3. I'll do the work off to the right. 15 over 42, divide 15 by 3, divide 42 by 3. So that's going to give us 5 over 14. Okay, let's try another one. All right, pause the video and try this on your own, and then come back and we'll do it together. Okay, let's see what's happening here. So we have u over 4 minus 9u over 2 equals u over e. So I see I have 3 fractions here. I'm thinking, gotta clear these fractions because of the number of fractions we have. And so the LCD is 8. If you use something other than 8, that still may have been okay. But I like to use the LCD because that's the lowest number that's going to clear the fractions. So I'm going to multiply the left side by 8, and I'm going to multiply the right side by 8. I can see on the left side that I need to distribute because there's 2 terms. So essentially I have 8 times u over 4 minus 8 times 9u over 2 equals 8 times u over 8. Okay, So for the first fraction, 8 times u over 4. Let's do the division first. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So we have 2u minus. Second fraction, 8 times 9 halves u. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. And 4 times 9u is 36u. Equals 8 times u over 8. So 8 divided by 8 is 1. So we have 1u. Okay, I'm going to draw a line through the equal sign. And I'm going to start with simplifying the left side. 2u minus 36u. That's negative 34u equals, and then I'll bring down the 1u. Now, you still want to get all of the variable terms on the same side. So I can bring the u to the left, or I can bring the negative 34u to the right. I'm going to bring the variable terms to the right. So I'm going to add 34u to each side. So that gives me, careful, negative 34u plus 34u. What is that? That is 0. And we don't have anything else on the left side. So we have to put the 0 and then the equal sign. Now on the right side, what do we have? 1u plus 34u. We have 35u. Some of you may have tempted to say, oh, there's no solution. Oh, careful. Now we're going to divide both sides by 35u. I'm sorry, by 35, not 35u. Okay, so on the right side, 35 divided by 35 is 1u. And 0 divided by 35 is 0. That is our answer. The variable equals 0. That means there's one solution and the solution is 0. Not no solution. That is not correct. There is a solution. It's 0. All right, so that one is a little bit tricky. Be careful. You can get 0 as an answer. So make sure your steps are flawless. All right. Okay. We still got fractions, and the equation just got a little bit more complicated. So, same process though. We have here 1/3 multiplied to parentheses x plus 7 close parentheses minus 1/2 multiplied to parentheses x plus 1 close parentheses equals 4. So again, I have two fractions here, and I'm thinking we're going to clear the fractions. So we have a denominator of 3 and 2. That means our LCD is 6. I'm going to multiply both sides by 6. The right side times 6, the left side times 6. All right. The left side, you want to make sure you distribute the 6 to where you see the 1/3 and then to where you see the 1/2, right? So think of this 1/3 multiplied to the x plus 7. That product, you just multiply once to that product, and then you distribute to the next product. Okay, so now essentially what that would look like is 6 times 1/3 parentheses x plus 7 close parentheses minus 6 times 1/2 parentheses x plus 1 close parentheses equals, I'll go ahead and simplify the 4 times 6, which is 24. Okay, now I recommend you simplify the multiplication before you distribute, meaning 6 times the 1/3 divide the 6 and the 3, and you get 2. And then parentheses, x plus 7, close parentheses, minus 6 times the 1/2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 3 parentheses, x plus 1, close parentheses, equals 24. We've cleared fractions. Now remember, when we're solving equations, we want to make sure we distribute and combine like terms before we use any of the properties of equality. So I'm going to draw a line through my equal sign, and I'm going to simplify this left side of the equation. First, by distributing the 2 to the x and to the 7, and that gives me 2x plus 14. Now I'm going to distribute the minus 3 to the x and to the 1. So that gives me minus 3x minus 3. The left side is still not simplified. We can combine like terms. We have a 2x and a minus 3x. We also have a plus 14 and a minus 3 that are like terms. So 2x minus 3x is minus 1x. 14 minus 3 is plus 11. And that equals, the right side is 24. Okay, the left side is simplified as much as we can go. So now we can undo the order of operations using addition and subtraction first. So I'm going to bring the constant terms to the right, which means I'm going to subtract 11 from the left side and then from the right side. That gives me negative 1x plus 11 minus 11, that's 0. That equals, and then 24 minus 11, that gives me 13. Okay, we're not done. We have not solved for the variable because we need 1x, not negative 1x. So therefore, you can either multiply both sides by -1 or divide both sides by -1. Most people do division, so that's what I'll do as well. So we're dividing by -1. So we get negative x divided by -1 is 1x, equal to 13 divided by -1 is -13. And we are done. Okay. Now this looks slightly different, but it's very similar to what we just did. Okay, so we have a fraction. In the numerator of the fraction is x minus 2 over 5 minus the second fraction in the numerator is x minus 4 over 2 equals 2. Okay, if I wanted to, I could rewrite this problem differently. I could rewrite it so that I have a fraction out front, which will be 1/5, and then multiply in parentheses x minus 2, and then minus, bring a fraction out front, which will be 1/2, and then multiply in parentheses x minus 4 equals 2. These two equations are equivalent. They mean the same thing. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, I actually find it to be convenient to not rewrite the equation, but I did want to show you that so that you know that they're equivalent if you like it. What I'm going to do is I am going to proceed as normal and find my LCD. I have two denominators, 5 and 2, so the LCD is 10. And I'm going to multiply the left side by 10 and the right side by 10. Now be careful when you're distributing here, because see, the numerator of each of these fractions has multiple terms. So we're going to put that numerator in parentheses, the x minus 2 in parentheses, and the x minus 4 in parentheses. And then when we distribute the 10, there won't be any confusion. So it's 10 times the fraction of x minus 2 in the numerator over 5 minus 10 times in the numerator x minus 4 over 2 equal to, let's go ahead and multiply the 2 times 10, we get 20. Okay, do not distribute that first. Okay, simplify the 10 divided by 5 first. It just is less work to do that. 10 divided by 5, we get 2. And then we still have the parentheses x minus 2 minus. All right, 10 times this next fraction. Again, do not distribute, divide first. 10 divided by 2, we get 5. And then parentheses x minus 4 is still equal to 20. Okay, no more fractions. But what do we want to do next? Simplify the left side by distributing. So I'm going to draw a line through my equal sign. Okay, first we're going to distribute the 2 to the x minus 2, and then we'll distribute the negative 5 to the x minus 4. So we get 2x minus 4. Then we're going to get minus 5x plus 20. We distribute it, continue to simplify by combining like terms. So we have 2x and minus 5x are alike. We have minus 4 and plus 20, they are alike. So 2x minus 5x, negative 3x. Negative 4 plus 20 is plus 16. All right, that left side is simplified, so now we'll bring down the 20 on the right. All right, property of equalities now. So we're going to put the constant terms on the right side, which means I'm going to subtract 16 from the left and then subtract 16 from the right. Okay, so we have negative 3x. The 16 minus 16 is 0, equal to 20 minus 16 is 4. Okay, ending with division. Divide both sides by negative 3. So on the left side, negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1. So we have 1x equal to negative 4/3. Okay. All right, I want you to pause the video and try this particular example on your own. We have here in the numerator x plus 1 over 4 plus next fraction. In the numerator, you have x plus 2 over 6 equals 1. Go ahead and try that, and then we'll do it together. All right, so we're clearing fractions first. The LCD for between 4 and 6 is 12. Sometimes people will use 24 here because of 4 times 6, and that's just fine. You should still get the same answer. It's not the LCD, but it's an acceptable factor to use. Okay, so we're going to multiply the left side by 12 and the right side by 12. So on the left side, we want to make sure you distribute and make sure you put your numerators in parentheses. So we have 12 times, then parentheses, x plus 1 close parentheses, over 4, plus 12 times, parentheses, x plus 2 over 6. And then equal to 1 times 12 is 12. Okay, on the left side, reduce first. That's always a great strategy when you're multiplying fractions, to reduce first, which means do the division. 12 divided by 4 gives us 3. So we have 3 parentheses x plus 1 plus 12 divided by 6 gives us 2. So we have 2 parentheses x plus 2, still equal to 12. All right, draw a line through the equal sign. We've cleared the fractions. Now we want to simplify the left side here. So we'll begin with distributing. Distribute the 3 to the x plus 1. Distribute the positive 2 to the x plus 2. And that's going to give us 3x plus 3 plus 2x plus 4. Okay, combine your like terms. So 3x and 2x are alike. 3 and 4 are alike. So that's going to give us 5x plus 7 equals 12. Okay, we are simplified. So now properties of equality. I'm going to bring my constant terms to the right side, which means I need to undo plus 7. The inverse of plus 7 is minus 7, so minus 7 on each side. And that gives us 5x equal to 5. All right, divide by 5 on both sides. Okay. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we have 1x equals 1. Okay, up until this point, we haven't been checking our answer, which is a little bit lazy. But let's see, is 1 actually the answer? Okay, so the way you check your answer, you can remember from prior equations, you just substitute the value back into the original equation. So I'm going to do a check over here to the right. All right, so we have x plus 1, so that's 1 plus 1 over 4, plus, and then 1 plus 2 over 6. Now, does that equal 1? Okay, is this a true statement? Well, let's see. We have 2/4 plus 3/6. All right, let's keep going. So 2/4 is actually 1/2. 3/6 is actually 1/2. So 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1. All right, and 1 is equal to 1. This is a true statement. So therefore, x equal to 1 is a solution. Okay, and in this case, it's the only solution. All right,